The person you love deeply is talking about your face, they retelling of their female friends that. My beloved child, don't skip, because what you are about to hear is something the person you love never imagined would reach you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Recently, they were sitting with a few female friends, laughing about ordinary things, until the conversation unexpectedly turned toward your face. For a brief second, they became completely silent, as if searching for the perfect words. One friend smiled and asked, "What is it about their face that stays in your mind?" Instead of giving a simple answer, they looked away with a smile that nobody could understand. Then they quietly admitted, "It's strange. I can't explain it, but their face carries a peace I never find anywhere else. Even after they leave, I still remember the way they looked at me." The room suddenly became silent. Nobody expected those words. Their female friends exchanged surprised glances because they had never heard them speak about anyone with such honesty before. Don't skip, because what happened next revealed something even more unexpected. As the conversation continued, one of the friends became curious and asked another question. Is it beauty, or is it something deeper? They paused again before answering. Then, almost in a whisper, they said, "It isn't about being perfect. It's about the feeling their face gives me. Somehow, when I imagine them smiling, all the noise inside my heart becomes quiet." Those words changed the atmosphere completely. Their friends stopped teasing and started listening carefully because they realized this wasn't an ordinary crush anymore. One of them even said, "I've never seen you describe someone like this." At that exact moment, the person you love lowered their eyes, almost embarrassed that their deepest feelings had slipped out without warning. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the biggest secret from that conversation has still not been revealed. Just before everyone stood up to leave, one final question was asked, the question that froze every heartbeat in that room. A friend smiled and whispered, "If you admire their face this much, what are you really afraid of?" They didn't answer immediately. Instead, they took a slow breath before saying, "I'm afraid they'll never realize how much comfort I find just by seeing them." Those words were never meant to leave that conversation. Yet they carried a truth so powerful that even the people sitting there couldn't forget it. From that moment on, every friend in that room knew your face was no longer just a memory to them, it had quietly become a place where their heart felt safe. Don't skip, because this is only the beginning, and something even more unbelievable happened after everyone thought the conversation was over. A strange silence followed after everyone thought the conversation had ended, but don't skip, because what happened next changed the entire meaning of those words. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Just as they were about to leave, one of their female friends quietly smiled and said, "Every time you talk about this person, your eyes change." The room became still once again. They tried to laugh it off, but the smile faded almost instantly. After a long pause, they admitted, "Maybe you're right, because whenever I picture their face, it feels familiar, like my heart has known it for much longer than my mind can explain." No one expected such an answer. Even their closest friends looked at each other in complete surprise. The conversation became even deeper. Another friend gently asked, "If they were standing in front of you right now, what would you notice first?" Without thinking, they answered, their eyes, because I feel like they hide kindness that words could never describe. Those words left everyone speechless. One friend quietly whispered, "You're not describing a face anymore, you're describing the way they make you feel." At that moment, they realized something they had never admitted before. It was never about appearance alone. It was the calm, the warmth, and the unexplainable connection they felt every time your face crossed their mind. Don't skip, because the final moments of that gathering uncovered a truth that nobody saw coming. As everyone prepared to leave, one friend looked back and said something unforgettable. "One day, you'll tell them everything you've told us today." They didn't deny it. Instead, they smiled softly and whispered, "I hope that day comes sooner than I expect." No one laughed after hearing those words. They all knew this feeling had become real. But there is still one hidden detail from that conversation that has never been revealed, a single sentence they spoke after everyone else had walked away. "Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you," and that final sentence could change everything you thought you knew about how they truly see you. Everything seemed over, but don't skip, because the most important moment happened after their female friends had already walked away. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They remained standing there alone, replaying every word that had been spoken about your face. Then, almost without realizing it, they opened their phone and paused on something that instantly made their heartbeat slower. They whispered to themselves, "Why does seeing this face make me feel like everything will be okay?" There was nobody left to hear those words. It wasn't for attention. It wasn't to impress anyone. It was the quiet truth they could no longer hide from themselves. In that silent moment, they finally understood that your face had become more than a memory, it had become the place where hope quietly lived inside their heart. A few moments later, one of their friends returned because she had forgotten something. She noticed the gentle smile that appeared the instant your face came into view and softly asked, "You're still thinking about them, aren't you?" They looked surprised, then gave the smallest smile before replying, "I tried not to, but somehow I always do." Their friend laughed gently and said, "I've never seen your face light up like this when you talk about anyone else." Those simple words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. They realized this wasn't admiration anymore. It was becoming something much deeper, something impossible to ignore. Don't skip, because one final realization was waiting just around the corner. Later that night, before going to sleep, they looked into the mirror for a brief moment. But instead of noticing their own reflection, your face quietly appeared in their thoughts once again. They smiled and whispered, "Maybe one day I'll finally tell them what I've never been able to say." That single sentence carried more emotion than anyone could imagine. It was never spoken in front of friends. It was never shared with the world. It remained a quiet promise inside their heart. Stay till the end, because the next chapter reveals the one compliment about your face that they have been hiding from everyone, and once it comes out, nothing will feel the same again. Something unexpected happened the very next day. Don't skip, because this was the moment their feelings became impossible to hide. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They met the same group of female friends again, and before they could even sit down, one of them smiled and asked, "Are you still thinking about that face?" They laughed for a second, but then quietly admitted, I try to stop. But somehow that face keeps appearing in my mind at the most unexpected moments. The room instantly fell silent. No one interrupted. Everyone could tell these words came straight from the heart, not from emotion in the moment. One friend then asked the question nobody expected. If you could change one thing about their face, what would it be? They didn't even need a second to think. With complete honesty, they replied, nothing. Because the little imperfections are exactly what make it unforgettable. Their friends looked at each other in disbelief. One of them softly whispered, "That's not the way people talk unless they truly care." They simply smiled and looked down, unable to deny it anymore. In that quiet moment, they realized your face had become connected to comfort, trust, and a future they had never dared to imagine. Don't skip, because the biggest confession of all was still waiting. As everyone began leaving once again, one final sentence escaped their lips so quietly that only one friend heard it. One day. I hope the first face I see every morning is theirs. That friend froze, knowing those words carried a meaning far deeper than anyone had expected. The secret conversation was no longer just about your face, it had become about the place you were slowly taking in their heart. Stay till the end. Because the next revelation uncovers the one memory about your face they have never shared with anyone, and it changes everything. The story didn't end there, don't skip, because what happened later was something even their closest friends never expected. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Days after that conversation, they were scrolling through old memories when someone casually mentioned your name. Instantly, they paused. One of their female friends noticed the sudden change and quietly asked, "Why do you always become so calm whenever they're mentioned?" They smiled without realizing it and softly replied, "Because their face reminds me that kindness still exists. Even on difficult days, just remembering that expression gives me peace." The room became completely silent. Nobody laughed this time. They all realized these feelings had grown far beyond simple admiration. The conversation became even more surprising. A friend gently whispered, "So what is the first thing you remember about their face?" They closed their eyes for a moment before answering. It wasn't the smile, it was the honesty. Their face never pretends to be someone else, and that's what stays with me. Those words touched everyone listening. One friend quietly said, "Now I understand why you can't stop talking about them." They nodded with a small smile, knowing they could no longer hide the truth from themselves. Don't skip, because one final moment from that day has never been shared until now. As they walked away, they looked up at the sky and made a silent promise that no one else heard. "If life ever gives me the chance, I'll tell them exactly what I see whenever I look at their face." They didn't know when that moment would come, but the promise felt real. From that day onward, your face was no longer just a memory in their heart, it became a quiet source of hope they carried everywhere. Stay till the end, because the next chapter reveals the hidden reason they can't forget your face, and it's far more powerful than anyone has imagined. A few nights later, something happened that they never told anyone. Don't skip, because this quiet moment revealed more than every conversation before it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They were sitting alone when everything around them became completely still. Without any reason, your face appeared in their thoughts once again. They tried to focus on something else, but the memory refused to fade. Then they whispered to themselves, "Why is it always this face that brings me peace?" There was no audience, no friends, and nothing to gain by saying those words. It was simply the truth their heart could no longer hide. The next morning, one of their female friends noticed they seemed unusually thoughtful and asked, "You're thinking about them again, aren't you?" They smiled softly before replying, "I don't even try anymore, it just happens." Their friend looked at them for a moment and quietly said, "You never describe anyone else the way you describe them. Every time you speak about their face, it's like you're talking about a place you've been searching for your whole life." Those words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. For the first time, they realized their friends had already noticed what they had been trying to ignore. Don't skip, because the final piece of this mystery is getting closer. That evening, before closing their eyes to rest, they made one silent wish that has never been shared with anyone. "I hope one day they look at me the same way I look at them." It was a quiet hope, but it carried more emotion than anything they had said before. From that moment, your face became more than a beautiful memory. It became the symbol of a future they secretly hoped could become real. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation uncovers the one sentence they have been keeping locked inside their heart all this time. The biggest surprise was still waiting. Don't skip, because this part uncovers the sentence they almost said out loud. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. One evening, while talking with the same group of female friends, someone suddenly smiled and asked, "If you had just 1 minute with them, what would you say first?" They became completely quiet. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then they took a slow breath and answered, "I wouldn't talk about how they look. I'd tell them that their face has brought peace into my life in ways they'll probably never understand." The room fell silent. Even their friends were surprised by the depth of that answer. The conversation didn't stop there. Another friend leaned forward and whispered, "Do you really think one face can leave such a lasting mark on someone's heart?" They smiled gently and replied, "Not every face, only the one that feels real. Every time I remember them, I stop overthinking. It's as if everything becomes lighter." No one could find a reply. One friend finally broke the silence by saying, "Now I understand why you never forget them. This isn't admiration anymore, this is something much deeper." Those words stayed in everyone's mind long after the conversation ended. Don't skip, because the final moments of that day revealed a truth that had been hidden from everyone. As they walked away alone, they looked back only once and quietly whispered, "I hope they never change that smile, because it's the first thing that gives my heart hope when everything else feels uncertain." Nobody was close enough to hear those words, yet they carried more meaning than every conversation before them. It was the first time they admitted that your face had become connected to their dreams for the future. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you, and the next chapter reveals the one realization that finally convinced them they could never forget you. A few days passed, and everyone believed the conversation was over, but don't skip, because the most unforgettable moment had not happened yet. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. While spending time with the same group of female friends, someone unexpectedly brought you up again. The moment your name was mentioned, they smiled without even realizing it. One friend noticed immediately and quietly said, "There it is again, that smile only appears when they're on your mind." They tried to hide it, but after a long silence they admitted, "Maybe that's because their face reminds me that some people don't have to say much to leave a lasting impression." The room became completely still. Nobody expected such a heartfelt confession. One friend then asked the question everyone had been wondering about. "Out of every memory you have of them, which one refuses to leave your heart?" They closed their eyes for a moment and softly replied, "The moment they looked completely genuine." There was no pretending, no trying to impress anyone, just honesty. That's the face I can never forget. Their female friends looked at each other in amazement. One of them whispered, "You've remembered that for this long?" Then this feeling is far deeper than any of us imagined. Those words echoed in their heart long after the conversation ended. Don't skip, because one final truth remained hidden. Later that night, as they sat alone in complete silence, they whispered something they had never shared with another soul. "If destiny ever gives me one unforgettable moment, I hope it's the moment I finally see that face again." The words were quiet, but they carried a hope that had only grown stronger with time. In that instant, they realized your face had become more than a memory. It had become a quiet dream they were no longer afraid to hold on to. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next chapter reveals the one thing their friends secretly decided after hearing everything they had confessed about you. No one expected what happened after those conversations. Don't skip, because this hidden moment was never meant to be shared. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. A few of their female friends met again without them, and the topic quietly returned to you. One of them smiled and said, "Have you noticed? Every time your name comes up, their entire expression changes." Another replied, "I've never seen them speak about anyone's face with that much sincerity. It's never about appearance, it's about the peace they feel." They all agreed on one thing. Whatever they felt for you had become impossible to hide, even when they tried. Later that day, one of those friends gently asked them a final question. If they suddenly appeared in front of you today, would you recognize them instantly? Without a second of hesitation, they answered, "I'd know that face anywhere." Some faces fade with time, theirs never does. The confidence in that answer surprised everyone. One friend quietly whispered, "That means they've already become part of your heart." They didn't argue. They simply smiled, because deep inside, they knew it was true. Don't skip, because the biggest realization was still waiting just ahead. That evening, while sitting alone, they looked out into the distance and whispered something no one else was ever supposed to hear. "I don't know when our paths will cross again, but when they do, I hope the first thing they notice on my face is the happiness of finally seeing them." At that moment, every doubt inside them disappeared. They no longer wondered why your face stayed in their heart, they accepted that it simply belonged there. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The final chapter reveals the one sentence they have been keeping hidden from everyone, the sentence that brings this entire story together. The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Don't skip, because this was the one sentence they never had the courage to say out loud. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. After every conversation, every quiet smile, and every memory, they finally understood what their heart had been trying to tell them all along. Standing alone, they softly whispered, "It was never just their face, it was the feeling I found whenever I thought about them." In that single moment, everything became clear. Their female friends had noticed it, they had tried to deny it, but the truth could no longer be hidden. Your face had become a symbol of comfort, hope, and a future they secretly wished could become real. Days later, one of their closest female friends asked them one final question. If you had one chance to tell them the truth, what would you say? They smiled.